The Boy Who Sold His Shadow. Chapter 1. The Man Beneath the Black Umbrella.
The village of Ashcombe had a peculiar habit of pretending certain things did not exist. When livestock vanished overnight, the farmers blamed wolves, though not a single footprint was ever found. When children whispered of voices calling from the abandoned well beyond the churchyard, their parents insisted it was only the wind. And every autumn, when a tall man carrying a black umbrella walked silently through the market square despite cloudless skies, everyone lowered their eyes and hurried indoors before the church bell struck noon. No one ever spoke to him. No one, except one boy. His name was Elias Thorn. At 14 years old, Elias had already learned that life was unfair. His father, once the village blacksmith, had died beneath a collapsed roof during a storm 3 winters ago. His mother had fallen ill not long afterward, leaving her too weak to leave the tiny cottage perched at the edge of the forest. The little savings they had vanished months earlier, spent on medicines that never worked. Every morning, Elias chopped wood before sunrise. Every afternoon, he carried water from the river. Every evening, he hunted rabbits or gathered mushrooms, hoping to find enough food for another day. Still, there was never enough. The villagers pitied them, but pity was cheaper than bread. Only old Mrs. Fenwick occasionally left loaves outside their door, pretending she'd simply forgotten them there. Elias always thanked her. She always replied, "Don't thank me, thank the Lord." Yet even the Lord seemed very far away these days. One chilly autumn morning, the market square buzzed with merchants selling apples, wool blankets, spices, and carved wooden toys. Elias stood beside a cart, offering bundles of firewood tied together with rough rope. 3 copper, he called. No one stopped. Hours passed. A merchant sold 20 wheels of cheese. A butcher sold every cut of meat. Children ran laughing through the square carrying sweets. Elias sold only 1 bundle. The single copper coins resting in his hand barely covered half a loaf of bread. His stomach growled loudly. As the church bell rang 11 times, the chatter around the market slowly faded. Stalls closed, doors locked. Merchants packed their goods with trembling hands. Without anyone saying a word, the entire square emptied. Within minutes, Elias stood completely alone. He frowned. What happened? Then he heard it. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of polished shoes against old stone. Slow, measured, patient. From the northern road emerged a tall gentleman dressed entirely in black. His coat looked untouched by dust. His gloves were immaculate. His silver cane gleamed despite the weak sunlight. Above him rested an enormous black umbrella, yet there wasn't a single cloud in the sky. The stranger smiled. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't kind, it was simply knowing. You remained. His voice sounded soft, almost musical. Elias swallowed. I didn't know everyone left. They always do. The stranger tilted his head slightly. They've grown very practiced at looking away. He glanced around the empty marketplace before his eyes settled back on Elias. You, however, seem wonderfully curious. I suppose. Curiosity, the man said, is a very expensive habit. Elias shrugged. So is being hungry. For the first time, the stranger laughed. It echoed strangely, as though another voice laughed a heartbeat later. A marvelous answer. The man approached Elias's lonely firewood cart. Without asking permission, he picked up 1 bundle. He examined it carefully. Good oak. You know wood? I know value. He placed the bundle back exactly where it had been. What do you charge? 3 copper. The stranger reached into his coat. Instead of coins, he withdrew a single golden sovereign. Elias stared. I don't have change. I know. The stranger held the coin between two gloved fingers. I wasn't offering payment. What do you mean? I'm offering possibility. Elias frowned. I don't understand. The man leaned closer. You're poor. I know. Your mother is dying. Elias's face went pale. How do you know that? You wake every night wondering whether she'll still be breathing by morning. Elias's heartbeat quickened. You dream about becoming rich. Silence. You imagine buying a warm house. Another pause. A physician. A horse. Fresh bread every day. The stranger smiled again. I know many things. Who are you? The gentleman considered the question. I've been called many names. What is your real one? My real name, he replied gently, would not help you. He extended his gloved hand. You may call me Mister Umbra. The name felt oddly heavy, as though speaking it aloud would stain the tongue. I'm Elias. I know. Mr. Umbra began walking around him slowly. Tell me, Elias. What? If you could possess anything, he tapped the golden coin, what would you surrender in return? I don't have anything. Oh? Umbra looked thoughtful. I disagree. I own this cart. No. My axe. No. My clothes? Umbra smiled wider. Those are merely objects. He pointed toward the ground. There. Elias looked down. His shadow stretched behind him beneath the afternoon sun. Umbra's cane gently tapped it. What about that? Elias laughed nervously. My shadow? Yes. What about it? I would purchase it. Silence. Then Elias burst into laughter. You can't buy someone's shadow. Can't I? You must be joking. I never joke. Something about the calm certainty in the stranger's voice made Elias stop laughing. You're serious? Entirely. But he looked again at the dark outline beneath his feet. It's just a shadow. Exactly, Umbra nodded approvingly. Something useless. So why would you want it? Collectors rarely explain their tastes. Elias rubbed the back of his neck. What happens if I sell it? You continue living. And you become extraordinarily wealthy. That's it? That is the agreement. No curse? No. No pain? None. No tricks? Umbra answered without hesitation. Only a fair trade. Something felt wrong, not because of the offer itself, but because the stranger spoke with absolute honesty, as though he genuinely believed every word. I should ask someone. You may. Umbra stepped aside politely. I'll still be here tomorrow. He handed Elias a black business card. No ink appeared upon it, only raised silver letters that shimmered when tilted toward the light. When poverty becomes too heavy, come to the old mill after sunset. There was no signature, no address, only those words. The market slowly came back to life after the man walked away. Merchants reopened their stalls. Children laughed once more. People chatted as though nothing unusual had happened. Elias rushed toward Mrs. Fenwick. Did you see that gentleman? What gentleman? The one with the umbrella. She blinked. What umbrella? He was standing right there. The old woman looked genuinely confused. There hasn't been anyone there all afternoon. But Elias turned. The stranger had vanished. The only thing left behind was the black card resting in his pocket. That evening, Elias returned home carrying only half a loaf of stale bread. His mother lay shivering beneath worn blankets. She forced a smile. "You sold the wood?" "Not much. I'm sorry." "It's all right." "No," she whispered. "It isn't." A fit of coughing overtook her. This time there was blood on the cloth she pressed against her lips. Elias looked away before she noticed he'd seen. The physician from the next town wanted more money than Elias could earn in months. Winter was only weeks away. The roof leaked, their firewood pile was shrinking. Hope itself felt like something that had become too expensive to keep. Late that night, long after his mother had fallen asleep, Elias stood outside beneath the moonlight. He looked down, his shadow stretched across the frozen grass. Perfectly ordinary, perfectly worthless. Wasn't it? Slowly, almost without realizing it, he reached into his pocket. The black card felt strangely warm. Far beyond the trees, somewhere deep in the forest, the abandoned mill stood in silence. And for just a moment, he could have sworn he saw the silhouette of a man beneath a black umbrella, waiting beside its broken wheel, as though he had never doubted that the boy would eventually come.